All right, agents, let's discuss an unexpected yet crucial survival skill, baking bread. Yes, you heard that right. In a hardcore survival scenario, the ability to bake your own bread could mean the difference between barely scraping by and truly thriving. If the Division 3 ever introduced a deep, realistic survival mode, bread making could be just as essential as scavenging for water or crafting gear. Let's break it down. The Tenacity Podcast, The Perfect Loaf, explores why baking has been a fundamental survival skill for thousands of years. Think all the way back to ancient Egypt, where people discovered that mixing flour and water and allowing it to ferment could produce something nutritious, sustaining, and let's be honest, far better than chewing on dry rations. Now, imagine this in the Division 3. You start with the basics, scavenging flour, water, and salt. Maybe you come across expired yeast packets in an abandoned grocery store. What then? That's where sourdough comes in. Dr. Bradley Garrett explains how to create a sourdough starter, a living mixture of flour and water filled with wild yeast and beneficial bacteria. It's self-sustaining. You feed it and it continues growing, allowing you to bake fresh bread without relying on store-bought yeast. Apply this to a survival system in the Division 3. Instead of just looting canned food, players could craft a sustainable food source. Picture setting up a safe house kitchen where you maintain a sourdough starter. Keep it fed, let it ferment, and when it's ready, mix up a simple dough, flour, water, salt, and the starter. Let it rise overnight, bake it in a makeshift oven, and just like that, fresh bread. This wouldn't just add realism, it would introduce a new survival challenge, keeping your starter alive. Neglect it, and you lose your ability to bake, forcing you to scavenge or trade with other players to start over. Leavened versus unleavened bread could even play a role in the game's survival mechanics. Unleavened bread, like hardtack, lasts forever, but is dense and tough, perfect for long-term storage in your bug-out bag. However, if you have the time and resources, baking a fresh sourdough loaf could provide more benefits. Maybe it restores more hunger and stamina than basic rations. Perhaps certain breads grant buffs, like endurance boosts or cold resistance in harsh weather. Then there's the challenge of actually baking it. In a real survival situation, you wouldn't have a modern oven. You'd have to improvise. Dr. Garrett discusses earth ovens, simple clay, or stone structures heated by fire. What if the Division 3 allowed you to build one in a safe house or base of operations? You collect clay, construct a dome, fire it up, and suddenly you have a functioning oven. It's not just about making food, it's about planning ahead, setting up sustainable resources, and mastering a skill most people overlook. Stockpiling ingredients could also be a major part of survival. Garrett highlights how just a few gallons of flour and water can keep you fed for weeks at almost no cost. In the Division 3, instead of relying on prepackaged meals, players could gather and store flour, salt, and water to maintain a steady food supply. Maybe food even becomes a tradable resource, with players bartering fresh loaves for other essentials like ammo or meds. Survival in the Division 3 shouldn't just be about fighting. It should be about outlasting. And what better way to do that than by mastering a skill as old as civilization itself? Imagine a late-game mechanic where agents who refine their skills can create high-quality, nourishing food, turning their hideouts into true survival hubs rather than just storage lockers. What do you think, agents? Would you like to see a deep survival system in the Division 3 that includes food crafting, baking, and long-term sustainability? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you want to check out the full Tenacity podcast episode, the link is in the description. If you found this video informative, don't forget to like and subscribe to ManaWar Gaming for more Division content. Stay sharp out there.